Hey guys, it's Kat, and if you guys hear a lot of squeaking, it's because of the chair that I'm sitting in. So I was hoping to be more put together for this video, but it got to the point where I was just like, well, I need to just film it and get it out of the way, because if not, I'm never gonna film it. I wanted to have the perfect lighting and the perfect background and actually be put together myself, but that just wasn't realistic. So I'd rather just show you what it's really like. So this is a summary of my first trimester. It's been pretty crazy. I can't believe I'm already in my second trimester. I am currently 13 weeks and 5 days, I believe. I don't even know what day it is. So like this coming Tuesday, I'll be 14 weeks. Excuse my messy makeup. This is like the first time this year that I've done full face of makeup, and I've barely done any makeup this year. Honestly, I haven't done much makeup since I've been pregnant. However, I didn't find out until I was 6 weeks. So I had 3 doctor's appointments in my first trimester. One was the first appointment, the second one was for the ultrasound, and the third one was because I kind of had a scare. It was basically I was just having some cramping, and it wasn't actually that big of a deal. I just was paranoid because this is my rainbow baby, and if you don't know what that means, it's basically a baby that happens after a miscarriage or an infant loss. So I just have been very cautious with my pregnancy. So even though I've had 3 appointments, I had not met with my midwife until I had hit my second trimester. I can make a whole video kind of explaining that and my thoughts on it and just my whole doctor situation, because that's kind of messy in general. So like I said, I didn't find out until I was 6 weeks pregnant, and I didn't get into the doctor till I was 8 weeks. However, I got a blood test prior to that. I ended up taking a total of 7 pregnancy tests, which is completely unnecessary. Honestly, take 2 and get the digital ones that say pregnant or not. Do not mess with the lines, because you can be like, oh, is that a line? Is that not a line? I would rather just get the ones that say pregnant or not pregnant. However, we did end up getting the lined ones because he just got the wrong test. He as in the father of the baby. I can make a whole video on just how I found out, which also includes how the dad found out and some of my close family, and then I can also make a different video on how I announced it to everyone. My background is a little crazy because I have my different lights, but I'm sitting in front of a window because that was the best lighting that I could find. And ignore my horrible nails. I didn't feel like painting them because I'm horrible painting nails and my whole hand would be painted. And I don't want to go get them done because I don't want to spend the money to go get them done. Basically it. This is my bedroom at my grandparents'. The only spot I could film, honestly. And so that's why the background is just all sorts of crazy. So as far as symptoms go, I haven't had a ton of them. Truthfully, I didn't even know I was pregnant. Some people just know, they don't even have to take tests, they just know they're pregnant. Me, I have always been paranoid about being pregnant, since I started doing anything. So I just was like, no, I'm not. I missed my period, wasn't even alarmed. And I guess that was the first sign, is that I missed my period. I was just really tired throughout December and kind of just figured that it was seasonal depression, which I've had in the past. So I just kind of assumed it was that. I got really sick the last week of December. So going into the new year, I was kind of sick. But I thought it was just a cold because my nose was just really runny, and it could have been just a cold. I don't know. But then the next week, I was just really tired, and I was just completely exhausted those 2 months. And again, I just thought it was just because of weather, which it very well could have been. I don't really know. Honestly, most of my symptoms, I couldn't tell you if it was actually a symptom or if it was because of something else. I actually have had people ask me what were my symptoms, and I'm like, truthfully, just missing my period was the main one. And that can be because of a lot of things. I was super stressed out because my school was potentially closing down and I was kind of behind. It was just a mess. I can make a video on that too. But I guess the other sign that I realized later on were needing to go to the bathroom frequently. And it's not like a normal, oh, I need to pee, because I'm always a person that needs to pee all the time. Not only do I need to pee a lot more, it's like I cannot hold pee as well, if that makes sense. I didn't really have morning sickness. My appetite changed. I'm basically the same person, except maybe a little crazier and a lot pickier. I did kind of get some morning sickness, once I found out I was pregnant, because I was at first I don't have any signs. This doesn't make any sense. And then I started kind of getting really nauseous about food and realizing it. Just certain smells and tastes just made me really sick. Then the next week, I ended up getting the flu. So I don't know if it was because of the flu, I was just getting sick, who knows. And I was not on prenatals yet. So I was not eating, and I was getting really sick, and I was in a lot of pain. The flu is really uncomfortable as it is. There's not a lot you can do about it, but I was legit just taking Tylenol and drinking water. And the only reason I was taking Tylenol was because I had a fever. I'm still dropping weight, and I don't really know why. I understand that, like, at first it happens, it's common, but I don't know why I still am, because over the past couple weeks, I've been getting more energy back, sometimes. This week I've been kind of sluggish. It kind of just depends. It's hit or miss. I also get out of breath a lot easier, which is kind of normal because I have asthma, but it's even worse. I'm not dropping weight as much as I was, but I'm kind of staying like right around that 10 pounds that I've lost, and I'm eating a lot more, so I don't really know why, but I'm also eating healthier. Before I drank pop a lot and was not able to lose weight. I have a feeling that I'm somehow losing fat while being pregnant. I don't know if that's even a thing. I don't really know a lot about that. I just feel like that's what's happening. I even told my mom, I was like, I feel like this baby is replacing the fat that's in my body, because it's like my belly's not getting bigger, it's just getting rounder, if that makes sense. Not that I was by any means fat, but I did have fat there, and like more fat than I've ever had in my entire life. Like when I was younger, I was really active and involved, and my mom had me eating really healthy, balanced meals. So I kind of touched on the fact that I was tired. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're just kind of exhausted all the time no matter what you do, and no amount of sleep is really enough. But I've also been getting deeper sleeps, or at least it feels like it, and I've always been hard to wake up, but like it's way worse now, and I don't want to get up. I also have crazier dreams, and at first I was having a lot of nightmares, which sucked. It's kind of slowed down, they're just more vivid. I'm pretty sure you dream all the time, you just don't remember it. I don't really know, I just know that I can remember my dreams that are crazy, like crazy realistic too. So just very vivid, and same with the nightmares. But what was crazy about the nightmares is it wasn't things that couldn't happen. It was all realistic nightmares, and like so personal too. Like if I explained it to someone else, they'd be like, that's not even scary. But for me, it'd just be really stressful. So I was worried about it for a bit, because I was like, I'd wake up panicking. Not like scared, but just stressed, really stressed from the nightmares. And I've never experienced that before. Usually my nightmares are completely unrealistic. I wake up and I'm like, yeah, okay. But these ones were just like crazy. Although they wouldn't really make sense, they would not be relevant to my situation now. It'd be like things I'd be scared to have happened in my past. I also mentioned I had the flu. That was really scary because the flu is dangerous, and if I would have gotten another virus, I could have ended up in the hospital, and I had it pretty bad too. So the flu is rough to go through in general, but I think I had type A flu. Pretty sure it was like the worst flu you could have. Literal influenza, and I haven't had that since I was in elementary. And I don't really get sick that much. I also had messed up on my prenatals in the first month that I had them, so I didn't get them till I was 8 weeks, but I somehow messed up like in the first month that I had them. Okay, so I have no idea where I left off, but I'm pretty sure it was at the point where I was explaining how I messed up with my prenatals. I ended up missing, I think like 6 or 7 of my pills. You know, it's gonna take so much editing because I'm gonna say so many times. Well, I'm pretty sure that ended up resulting in, it just made my body like a little more crazy than normal. So don't mess up your prenatals. Try to take them every day, like regularly. I explained that my sleeping seemed like a deeper sleep and I was having weird dreams. I failed to mention that I also wake up, just like wake up at weird times, and like sometimes I'll wake up at 3 in the morning and I will be up for the day. And sometimes I'll wake up at noon and then need a nap at 1 and nap till 5. It's very irregular. It's very intense too. Like when I get tired, it's a lot more intense than before. Like when I wake up, it's harder to go back to sleep. I also wake up because I'll need to pee, and that's never happened. Like I never used to wake up in the middle of the night, like ever. I would just like, my body would just wait. Now it's like, I don't always sleep through the night, and if I wake up, sometimes I get stuck waking up. So like, I've just been kind of messing around with the schedule to try to get my body to get as much sleep as possible and be the most time efficient, if that makes sense. If I go to sleep too early, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and then be up for hours, and then still sleep in because I was up so late. But really, I slept a couple hours, so I shouldn't have needed the extra sleep, but I did. It's really weird. And then I also kind of touched on the fact that I had a weird appetite, but I didn't explain much of it. So I wasn't really hungry for a while, and it's still kind of hard to find things that I'll actually eat. I should get hungry now, like really hungry. And I feel like sometimes I'm not hungry, but like the baby's hungry, so it's like my stomach will be really upset, or like my body's hungry and I'm not hungry, and it just doesn't always make sense at all. Maybe that's just a me thing. A lot of this could just be a me thing, but it feels like it's a pregnancy thing because it wasn't like this before I was pregnant. I've always had a weird appetite, very picky about food, but never to this extent. As far as emotions, they haven't been too crazy other than like a few times. I think I'm happier than I was before. I think that's just because everything's been pretty healthy and gone pretty well, other than the situation that happened when I was at the doctor's the other day. But that's a whole story within itself. But I also get really mad about food and I will cry for no reason. It's just, the hormones are kind of crazy, but it's not anything out of the usual for me because I've always been very moody. I think I get angrier and more upset a lot easier, but I also get happier a lot easier. So, oh, and then recently my allergies have been really crazy. Like I will sneeze like 5 times and not be done yet, and then I'll have to blow my nose, and then like 5 minutes later, back at it again. That might be a little gross, but there's a lot of gross stuff that happens while you're pregnant. Oh, and I don't know if this is anything relevant to pregnancy, but I feel like I've been sweating a lot more, and my joints pop a lot more. Like my ankles will pop a lot, and I'm like, what is even happening? And there's a lot of things that I didn't know happened that do. For an example, I didn't realize your ankles could swell when you're in your first and second trimester. I knew towards the end, like once you actually gained a bit of a bump, but I didn't know that could start swelling right off the bat. Granted, I'm pretty sure that can also mean something's wrong, like a blood pressure thing. I'm not 100% sure. I just know that it wasn't anything severe, but it was like enough for me to notice. And I couldn't comfortably wear jeans since I was 6 weeks pregnant. I think that was like the second sign, was kind of like, these kind of feel a little bit more uncomfortable than they normally do, because I wear a lot of high-waisted jeans, and I'd be like, I really need to unbutton these because these are really, really uncomfortable. I don't understand. I kind of just thought I had an upset stomach. I'm pretty sure it's just because I was bloated and gaining, not weight, but like just swelling in weird ways. That's another thing. So my boobs have swelled. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I'm growing out of every bra, and so I kind of just have been wearing these weird padded sports bras, but like they aren't like the thick straps or like normal bra straps, but they're sports bras, which I wore these before I was pregnant anyways, so I just had to get different ones because mine were falling apart. And I didn't know pregnancy could make you constipated. And I also thought that as you're gaining a bump, you know, it'd be like when you gain fat, you know, sometimes you just don't notice and you kind of just eventually are like, wow, I've gained a lot of fat in the past year. Well, no, I am like, I feel like so much pressure in my lower abdomen, and I'm like, what is even happening? And it's the baby growing. And I didn't realize how much cramping could happen too, and just how uncomfortable it could be. And nothing's been that severe. It's just been enough to be like, wow, I didn't realize that you felt this pregnant this early on. I have felt like a lot of stuff was more intense than it should be early on, but nope, that's just normal. Overall, the first trimester was pretty easy, but I also didn't know I was pregnant until 6 weeks, so a lot of the symptoms and everything I wouldn't be able to pinpoint if it was a pregnancy symptom or if it was just a me thing or a weather thing or just whatever other cause it could be. It was super severe that stood out to me other than me missing my period. And truthfully, like having to pee a lot, I didn't really notice it until I realized I was pregnant. Like I just didn't think anything of it because the more water you drink, the more you're gonna have to pee. Overall, it's been pretty good, and I'm hoping that the rest of it will be pretty good. And I can make other videos on baby updates, pregnancy updates, my views on things, my plans with things, and how I found out and how everyone else found out. I think I already mentioned that. If I did, oops. I also definitely failed to address why I'm in Christmas cactus pajamas. I got these for Christmas, but I love cacti. I didn't feel like wearing normal clothes because stuff doesn't fit me very well. I think I'm gaining a bump, and it's like a little bump, just a little itty bitty bump. Like if you didn't know me very well, like my mom noticed before I did. So if you don't know me very well, you wouldn't know, but it could just be bloating. I think at this point it's like gaining the baby because the baby's moving up. But yeah, I think the past couple weeks it's just been mainly bloating and like kind of just preparing for the baby to move up, I guess. Honestly, it's also been easy because I've been mostly sleeping. I've pretty much slept away my first trimester and probably is gonna do the same with the second trimester. You know, some people have like the nesting towards the end. I feel like that's already started. And I told my mom about it, and she was like, yeah, no, that's just you. Because I'm just very crazy with cleaning and organization, and I constantly want to do that. Got a little crazier with pregnancy, because I was like, I gotta prepare for the baby. Even though, you know, just in my second trimester. Like, I got some time to go. I've mainly just been cleaning, doing schoolwork, and sleeping. And researching everything I could possibly research, and cutting out stuff. Like, I only eat certain things because, like, I don't want to risk anything that could be potentially dangerous for the baby. Also cutting out products because I've been pretty big on skincare, which has completely gone to trash now because hormones are not making my skin happy. And same with my hair. Hopefully now that I have been able to eat again and being very regular with my prenatals, everything will kind of level out. It feels like it's going to, but I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. If you have any video recommendations, leave them below. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.